and the Hashira are all highlights of that love. They're human for humanity's sake. Some of them are worse than others, but they're all fighting on the same team. Alright, so I'm gonna just come out and say it. I think Demon Slayer is actually pretty cool. Gotoge created a series that has something for everybody. I think she, as a writer, is highlighted in her short form character writing. This is usually delivered when a character is at death's door, they get a memory or they think back of their prior life. And it's interesting that demons don't remember their human life when they're demons, and when they're about to die, they always remember the human elements of their life. Never the life that they lived as a demon, but what they were as a human, because that's what ultimately mattered most to them. It's usually a very quick but polarizing story to make us feel for these people that sacrificed themselves to become a demon to try and save their family, or what they lost that pushed them to be okay with becoming a demon. Muzan just swoops in at the right time to reap these rewards that he did nothing to earn. Hey everyone, real quick. I am so close to hitting my 500 subscriber mark and hitting that first milestone, and it would mean a lot to me if you could just subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, spread the word, and I'll leave you alone. Enjoy the video. Peace. A lot of the issues that people have with Demon Slayer, it's usually, oh, the effects aren't real of the abilities, or the cast is too vanilla generic, or the story itself is vanilla or generic. It's subjective at the end of the day. I do think a lot of that stuff is on purpose and intended by Gotoge. I believe she is well aware of the story that she wanted to create, and I believe that she never tried to go out of her bounds to try and push the envelope. She delivered a shonen story in a shonen landscape. But I do think it's a story that if people put their own stuff aside and just take it for what it is, there's something for everyone to love. The three things I'm going to bring up are the animation and fights, Hashira, and Upper Moons 1 through 3. To get the big one out the way first, it's animation and fights. Now, not saying the fights are the best fights in shonen, I wouldn't even have them in top 10, but the fights are always shown really well, and the whole thing of Demon Slayer is carried by animation. One, that statement alone tells me that that person is probably watching Demon Slayer and they themselves enjoy the fights. And two, is telling me that, oh, well, if it's carried, you still agree that it has at least some value. When season 2 came out, I didn't really remember a whole lot of the manga. It's been a while since I actually read it, and when it came out, I went to go back and look at it. I didn't realize how much I would enjoy season 2, but that fight is still so fun to watch. Now, season 3 did sour me a bit on the series, but I believe that was to my own dismay. I was hoping to get that same lightning in a bottle from season 2 that I didn't expect anything from, and how much I enjoyed it. I was hoping for that in season 3, and that could have been my fault. Maybe it's the Finding Nemo looking ass fishes, I'm not sure. I also just did not like the Upper Moons in that part. Big thing for me is the Upper Moon and the Hashiras. Those are like the undoubtedly cool elements of the series. And going back to the animation, I do also like when they kind of cut to them looking, chibi, or a little silly looking face or something like that. My wife enjoys those moments as well, and she kind of helped me get off the edginess a bit and just have fun with those moments. I believe there is a Hashira for everybody. I think each one has their own likability, their own personality, their own backstory. There's something for everyone to love. We just seen the Stone Hashira's backstory in the anime recently, and it's very gripping, and it's just sad because he's starving himself in order to make sure the kids eat. Even still, he's able to fight a demon off, being just malnourished and sickly thin, yet fighting it off, and the little girl sees him as a monster. It's very sad, but it's what builds this stoic, mysterious character that we hear is the strongest Hashira of them all. It's about all the Hashira and how serious they take their duty, how they look up to the leader. They admire him because of what he did for them. He is the equal but opposite, where Muzan sweeps in to reap the reward of getting a human on despair to fight for him. The leader, sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but the leader swoops in to lend a shoulder, and hears someone out, someone on the brink of losing their humanity, and saving them before Muzan can reach them. And ultimately giving them another chance to save other people. Maybe they didn't get the help from the previous Hashira to save their family, but they can be there and give that same love and pay it forward. He is so important and his intellect is great. He's fighting for us, even though he won't have a long life. We see the sacrifice he is gonna make. Some people would turn tail and run from that kind of responsibility, being born into it. And the Hashira are all highlights of that love. They're human for humanity's sake. Some of them are worse than others, but they're all fighting on the same team. I think Tanjiro is a good depiction of what the good boy MC should be in shonen. I think he gets too much hate. I do think he is one of the more hated MCs for no real reason. When it's time to stand on business, he does get the job done. I just don't get the Tanjiro hate. He's just not my favorite character personally. My favorite character is Giyu, as well as Sanemi, Kokoshibo, and Iguro. But you know, I literally hear nobody ever bring up Muzan. And honestly, I believe great villains have their own fans. Look at Aizen, Meruem, Chrollo, Pain, and yes, even Sukuna. You know I couldn't help but mention JJK at least once. But one thing where Muzan is lacking is the top 3 upper moons together help carry the weight of at least there being a cool villain in the series. But really, I just want to kind of talk about the coolness of Demon Slayer, because I do think it has an undeniable streak of coolness that's inherent through it. The problem is it has so much stacking against itself with the special effects not being real, the pacing, the milking of wanting movies or box office releases. That's definitely a problem. I think that shouldn't have been nurtured. I don't hate on the fans who went to go see it in a movie theater, because if JJK came out with movies in the theater, I would go to every single one. Every new season, it feels like an event. It gathers so many people talking about it. So many want to see it just fail for that reason alone, which is crazy. Instead of hating on another series and trying to push another series down to uplift your series, that is a hater-ass mindset. Why not just be the positive light for your own fandom or your own series and highlight it, do the best you can to try and put as many people on without being toxic. And if you like Demon Slayer, don't let anyone try and tell you differently, or don't be quiet about it. If you love it, love it. If it's just fine to you, that's cool too. I guess this is my love letter to Demon Slayer. Thanks for staying for the whole video. Remember, stay normie, stay weeb, shit even in between is fine. Until next time, peace.